Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make my brick house number 8. I'm really getting this whole number thing down. Or at least I hope it's number 8 now that I've said that. If you want to make it, here's what you're going to need. You will need some stone bricks, and some regular bricks. Also, grab some stone brick stairs, and finally, grab yourself some glass pane. You may also want to grab some carpet material, maybe some hedging, maybe some stairs. I don't know what you need, but really, all you need to make the base structure of the house is those first 4 materials right there. I've also grabbed some black stained clay. I'll probably be needing it. It's my new favourite material. Anyway, once you have each one of those materials right there, including the clay, grab the clay. You're going to want to kick off your house with a row of 6 stone bricks coming directly up from the ground. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And once you have your row of 6 stone bricks coming directly up from the floor, you then want to take this 6th block, this top block, and go right of it by 9. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then connect this 9th block to the ground. I know, we're starting another video off this way. It's all about archways. I don't know why. All of my houses, it's all archways, that's all they are. So once you have this shape right here, you then want to come back up to this 9th block, and you want to go right of it by a further 9. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then connect that 9th block to the ground. So you just want to have now 2 archway shapes. Once you have these, you now want to take each one of these 3 connection points that you have between the vertical rows and the horizontal row, and you want to take each one of the 3 connection points and extend them coming towards you each by 9, which sounds difficult, but in actuality you want to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And this last one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just like that. And then you want to connect each one of those 9th blocks together, which I'm doing now, and then we will connect them to the ground. So, just connecting each one of the 3 to the ground now, and then we will continue on. So, you just want to have something which should look a little bit like this. 2 cubes stood next to each other. Once you have this, you now want to do a very similar thing. You know how we just extended those 2 archways just forward towards us? We now want to do the same thing, except we just want to do it with this left side. So you want to take this left connection point and that middle one, and just extend each one of those towards you by 9. So like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just like that, and then connect each one of those 9th blocks together, and then connect them to the ground. Whoops, that is the wrong block, isn't it? So, connect them each to the ground like this to give you this shape right here, and this is just the base shape of our house. And that's actually the entire first floor worked out. Once you've done that, this is what you want to do next. So, basically, we now want to take each one of these corner blocks that we have at the top of our framework right here, and there's many corner blocks. I do mean like that corner, that corner, that corner, that corner, those back 3, that one right there, you guys get the point. And you want to go on top of each one of the corner blocks by 6 with your stone brick. So you just want to raise it up another level like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you guys get the idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thank God, last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And once you've finished raising up each one of those points by 6, you then want to take each one of those 6 blocks and just connect them all together. So just go all the way around the outside of what you've made and just connect everything together. Oh, we'll also have to add a couple of rows to the inside as well. Essentially what we're doing, we're just copying exactly what we have on the first floor, and we're just making it on the second floor. We're taking a copy of it, throwing it directly on top. Is that Inception? I don't know. I don't know what that means. So just copy exactly what you have on the ground floor, and as I said, you're going to have to add 2 rows just to the center part here, just to kind of segregate everything, of course. Yeah, I pronounced that properly. Anyway, once you've done that, you want to end up with something that should look exactly like this. As I said, we've taken the ground floor, added another layer on top. Now we have 2 stories. Look how fancy we are. We have many stories now. So once you've reached this point right here, this is what you want to do next. Oh, I'm so glad that we grabbed the black stained clay. You have the clay, right? You guys remembered to grab that? I hope you did. It's very important. Grab the clay. Go on. Actually, you can use whatever material you want. So, to make the part that we're going to do after this easier, we're now going to fill in the second floor of our house. We're just going to add a flooring material, which, in my case, is black stained clay. However, you guys can use whatever you want. That's completely up to you. Although, I would urge you to use the black stained clay. I love this stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's just me that loves the color. I like dark browns. That's my problem. Anyway, reminds me of chocolate. That doesn't help. Oh, I could really go for some caramel. Anyway, completely fill in the second floor of your house. Reason being, after we filled in the second floor, we're going to fill in every single one of the empty panels around our house with our regular bricks. And it's just going to make block placement a lot easier if you have this second floor filled in. I wasn't going to include this on recording, but I started talking about chocolate and other stuff, and look at us. Here we are, we've almost finished. So you just want to completely fill in your second floor. Again, whatever material you want. I just have a weird fascination with black stained clay. I'm so happy it came into my life. Anyway, once you've completely filled in the second floor of your house, this is what you want to do next, and I probably won't do all of this on recording. So, you guys can see we have all of these empty rectangular spaces around the house. Well, we want to fill every single one of these spaces in with our regular bricks. However, we don't want to fill them in, we don't want to connect them together with the bricks. The bricks want to sit 1 block backwards in relation to our stone brick framework. You guys might be able to tell what I'm talking about. I'm building up a little example for you now, and it'll be finished in just a moment. So this is what you want to do with your regular bricks all the way around your house. We're just going to completely fill in the walls, and then we'll just carve a pattern into the bricks. Just because I find it easier this way. You guys might disagree, but you know, that's your prerogative. So this is what you want to do all the way around the house, just starting off with a small section first of all. So this is what you want to do, and you want to do the exact same thing on the second floor as well. Can you guys see why I wanted to fill in the second floor now? I'm sure you can. So just go all the way around the house with your regular bricks and just build up every single one of the walls with your bricks. That's it. That you just want to go all the way around your house, and you just want to end up with something that should look like this. But imagine that there's no empty spaces. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. However, I'm not going to include it in the tutorial. I'm going to cut this out now, and I'm going to be back once I've completely filled in all of the walls. It's just to save a little bit of time. So I'll be back in just a moment once I've applied all of the bricks to the house. Back in a sec. Alright guys, so as you can see, I have been all the way around the house and I've completely finished filling it in with bricks. Took a little while. I'm glad that I didn't include that in the recording. I'd end up saying something stupid, as if I haven't already done that already. I'm used to it by now, don't worry about it. So, once you've reached this point right here, and obviously pause the video if you're still working on this, of course. Once you've reached this point right here, this is what you want to do next. So, we're now going to build up the roofs, which are a little bit tricky actually. So, take out your stone bricks and come to this point on your house. Come all the way up to the top of your house and come over to the, well, you guys might not be able to identify this, but that is the right hand side of the house, and that's the left hand side, and I really wish that I would have done this earlier because I like to try and get this knocked out nice and early. The entrance to the house is going to either be this panel right here or that panel, so you want to come all the way up to the top of the right hand side of the house, which is right here. And starting from on top of this block, can you guys see what I'm talking about? On top of this block right here, place a stone brick. Then do 3 upright diagonals from that stone brick. So that's 1, 2, 3. Then go to the right of that third upright diagonal by 1. and then you basically want to just take this block and connect it back down to the framework of the house diagonally. So what you want to end up with is something that should look exactly like this, and that's just kind of like the outline of where the roof's going to be. And once you've done this on the right hand side of your roof, you now want to come all the way to the front here, and you want to do the exact same thing. So on top of this block, just place a stone bricks, then do 3 upright diagonals. 1, whoops, hang on, 1, 2, 3, something went awfully wrong there. Go to the right by 1 and then just connect it back down to the top of the house with diagonals like this. And this is just going to kind of like serve as a guideline for the roof. So once you've done that, this is what you want to do now. So take out your stone brick stairs and come like to the front of your house and come like midway down. So you want to be like right of this block right here. You want to be focused on this block, and from this block with your stone brick stairs you want to form this shape. It might be easier if I just do this and then just show you guys what it should look like. Really it's kind of like a show and tell rather than try and explain it. Can you guys see what I've done there? So I've kind of just like made another quadrant on the house, just like halfway up the house, and I've used the stone brick stairs like this, if you guys can see exactly what I've done there. I think that's pretty obvious. I don't think that needs any further explanation. So once you've done that, we now basically just want to build up the roof of the house, and you kind of want to do it like this. It's kind of like a conventional roof. This is where the roof starts. It like starts halfway up. You know, instead of like a balcony, I'd usually like place a balcony there. I decided that it might be cool if we had just like a roof starting here, and it kind of like builds in to the top part of the house. I think it's a really cool idea. I actually showed you guys this in a recent world tour. Let me show you. I mean, again, this is like really difficult to put into words, but hopefully you guys can see quite easily what we're doing here. We're kind of like building up the roof, and it's just kind of like a quarter roof at the moment, but eventually it's just going to build into like a proper roof when we reach the right altitude. So if you, whoops, placing it the wrong way. Stairs are so tricky. Why are stairs so tricky? Anyway, you eventually want to reach about this point right here. Can you guys see what I've done there? So that's where the roof starts. It starts midway up the house. It starts feeding up instead of the balcony. And when you reach about this point, this is when things get kind of tricky and even more indescribable, really. So now you want to do this. This is where like the actual roof like feeds into this roof. So just to show you, can you guys see what I've done there? Like maybe it will take a few more. Maybe it will take a few more layers, but essentially what we're doing, we're still adding layers, except now we kind of have like a weird pattern. This is where the roof like actually branches off into the like much larger top part. So just to, I'll just keep building it up and building it up. Maybe it will just get easier to see. Maybe you guys have already grasped the concept, and it's just me that might have problems with this, but hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. I always worry that maybe I'm not being very clear. The whole point of these things are so that you guys can copy them, of course. If you guys can't follow the tutorials, there's really no point in calling it a tutorial. So, we've actually just about done the front half, the easy half, or the hard half, I should say, of the roof. So, I think it's fairly obvious what I'm doing. Let's see. We've just about done it. Let's reach the apex here, and then we'll take a look at what we've done. And I really like this design of roof. I definitely have to try it in some other builds. Let's see, we've just about finished. We have to make the roof look a little bit nicer on the sides, but can you guys see what we've done there? Can you guys see how we've managed that? I mean, I guess it's kind of easy looking at it now from a finished perspective, but building it up, there you go, and that's what you want to do with your roof, and that's the difficult part. Once you've managed to do that part, and I imagine that you guys have hopefully managed to follow along with that, once you've done that first half, the second half is actually really simple. So like, coming over to the left side of the front now, starting from in front of the framework, you basically just, with your stone brick stairs, we're just building up a regular roof at this point. We're just going to build up the layers and layers and layers, kind of like a section of a pyramid, and we're just like following around the guidelines for the roof were just like going around like 3/4 of the house, just connecting each side together, just like back and forth, as you guys can see. So once you've done that first half, the second half is just child's play. It's just following around the shape of the roof. Going to take a little while just because the house is well, actually, it's not too big, is it? It's not a very big house at all. Thinking about it, I shouldn't say that. So just going to continually and incorrectly build up the roof. And once we've done the roof, we've actually probably done the hardest part of the house. The roof is really the attraction with this house. It's the it's the part that catches the eye. It's really different. I've not seen anybody else do it quite like this, but then again, I don't really go particularly researching houses. When you get to the top here, you still want to just like maintain the shape, and you should just have like a little hole in the top of your roof. As you guys can see, we've built up the other half of the roof now, and you now have this thing, which you could make into a chimney. You could make into a chimney if you wanted to, but I'm just going to completely fill in the top here like this. And if you wanted to, if you were so inclined, I suppose you could steeple it even more. You could, with your stone brick slabs, you could just like build it up ever so slightly more. You could just make it look ever so slightly pointy, but then it kind of just throws off the roof a little bit. But that's completely up to you. You could have it like that, or in my original design, I decided to keep it flat like this, but that's, again, it's completely up to you. You guys can do whatever you want with the house. It's completely yours. So once you've reached this point right here, once you've built up the meat of both sides of the roof, we now have to make it look a little bit prettier. So on the right and front side of the house, you guys can see we have these two holes in the roof, and that's just not acceptable. So what we want to do here, we just want to kind of like plug these gaps with stone bricks. And the way we want to do this, we just want to have just stone bricks sat back one row in relation to like the outer part of the roof, if you guys can see what we've done there, like this. And whilst we're on this side, we may as well take care of the next part. So once you've just like filled that gap, you then just want to have the roof overhang the house by one row, very much like how I'm doing now. And then you just want to place upside down stone brick stairs just like underneath the overhanging part of the roof, and that just makes it look a little bit prettier, a little bit nicer. So that's exactly what I'm doing now. So you want to end up with something that should look exactly like this. And of course, you don't just want to have this on one side of the house, you want to have it on both sides of the house. So coming over to the opposite side of the house now, we're just going to do the exact same thing. Let's see here. Let's just build this up a little bit. Let's see. And there we go. We've just plugged the gap, and now we just want to add in our stone brick stairs, which is exactly what I'm doing now. So I'll just finish this up, and then what will we have to do, guys? What do we have to do? Well, we have a couple of mass-producing parts. We have a lot more stone brick stairs to add around the house, and we also have the entrance to do, and we also have to make some patterns in the outer part of the house as well. So once you've completely taken care of both parts of the roof, or both end parts of the roof and the big giant part of the roof that we've just finished. Now, once you've reached this part right here, this is what you want to do next. So I think it's about time that we pay some attention to the entrances and to the outer walls of the house. So come to the entrance portion of your house. It's kind of just like sat underneath this, like, I don't know what to call this thing, the outer part of the roof here, and we'll light this up before we begin actually, since it's a little bit dark. We'll place a torch here and here, keep everything nice and symmetrical. So I was only going to go with one entrance for the house, but I think I'm going to keep everything symmetrical. So I'm going to do two entrances, one on this wall, one on that wall, and they're just going to be identical. And I'm just going to build them for you and then show you what they should look like, just because I think this will be the easiest way to do it. They don't really require any explanation whatsoever. I build this one all the time. It's really, really simple, and I'm sure you'll have no problem identifying what you have to do with it. And you know what? I wasn't going to do this, but we're going to add a little bit of glass to it as well. We're going to add a nice little bit of a glass archway around the entrance. So maybe knock out the corners as well, add a little bit more glass. I'll do both of the entrances and then I'll show you guys what they should look like, actually, just because they are relatively quick to build. I'd like to get both of these taken care of, and once we've built these, we'll pay a little bit more attention to the other walls of the house. These are probably the most difficult parts, actually, the entrances, which says something because these are really, really simple. So, what you want to have for either one or two of your entrances, of course you don't have to build two entrances, you can just have the one. You could have 0, it's completely up to you, but if you want to keep in line with what I'm doing, this is what you want to have for the 2 entrance panels to the house. You just want to have these. Very, very easy. Pause this if necessary, apply these to your entrance portion of your house. I like everything to be symmetrical. That's even why I have the torches placed how I have them there, just to keep everything symmetrical. That's just me. You could have one entrance, you could change them, you could have whatever you want, you could have an underground burrow leading into the house. That's completely up to you, but that's what I'm doing. Once you've done that, this is what we're going to do next. You know what? We just have such a small thing to do here. We, just, you know, next to the outer part of the roof, the entrance part of the roof. Again, I don't know what to call it exactly. You just want to add 3 little bits of glass pane in these positions right here. Again, they don't really require any instruction, but if you guys can see exactly what I've done there, it'll just make it look a little bit nicer, a little bit less plain. So just to show you, we've added just a couple of windows here. So that's what we've just done to the entrance part of the house. So once you've done that, this is what you want to do next. So on the front and right hand sides of the house, this is what you want to do to the empty panels on the upper and lower parts of the front and left hand sides of your house. You want to first knock out a circular shape in the brick like this, and then replace the circular shape with stone bricks, and then you just want to knock out the inside portion of the circular shape and replace it with glass pane. And this is what you want to have on the fronts and right hand sides of your house. So I'm just going to do this to the upper and lower part, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like, just to save a little bit of time. You do want to do it to both the upper and lower parts, and as I said, you want to do it on the right hand side of your house as well. So you want to have something which should look a little bit like this. I know this looks a little bit plain, but in a little bit, we're going to do something which will make each individual panel just a little bit better. So this is what you want to have on the front of your house right here. Pause this if necessary, of course. And you want to have the exact same thing on the right hand side as well. Now, what you want to have on the left hand side of your house and on the back hand side of your house is this. So you want to carve this pattern into your bricks. You want to carve... Whoops, hang on. Done it ever so slightly wrong. There we go. Just have to expand it a little bit. You want to carve this out with your glass pane. You want to have this pattern. And again, I know it looks a little bit plain, but it will be a lot better a little later on, trust me. And you want to have this in every single one of those panels. That one, that one, that one, each of these back 4. So, just to recap, this is what you want to have on the front of your house and the right hand side of your house. And this pattern is what you want to have on the complete left hand side of your house and the back hand side of your house. Just to save a little bit of time with this tutorial, I'm going to go away and I'm going to apply all of that to my house, just because it will take a fair amount of time with all of the carving and the glass placing. So I'm going to be back in just a moment once I've applied all of that to my very own house. You guys should probably do the exact same thing, and I'll just be back in a moment once that's all finished. Alright then guys, so as you can see, I have completely finished carving out all of the necessary patterns onto each side of the house, which were really easy by the way. It just takes a little bit of time, that's why I cut it out. Really simple to do, just time consuming. So this is the left hand side of the house, really simple. It's just that first initial pattern that I showed you, just apply to each one of the 4 quadrants on the left hand side of the house. Really simple. And you also wanted to do the exact same thing on the back as well, the left hand side and the back side of the house. house are just completely identical to each other, really easy. And we also had to do the right hand side of the house, which again, identical to the front of the house. And just to say, again, that's why I cut it out. It takes a long time to do, or at least for me, because glass paint is always fiddly, and whenever I'm carving out patterns and stuff, I always mess up, and it just takes a lot of time. I figured I'd save you guys the pain, and I'd just cut it out of the recording. And again, it's just really simple. So once you guys have reached this point right here, and pause this if necessary, if you're still working on that, of course, I imagine you are, it does take a little bit of a while, this is what you want to do next, and this is the last little bit of work that we have to do before we start tampering with the interior and the exterior of the house. So you basically want to take out your stone brick stairs, and you want to apply a single stone brick stairs into each one of the four corners of the many rectangular panels that you have around the house. So you essentially want to end up with this effect right here, just to show you with the front of the house first of all. You want to have this effect. You're basically turning each one of your rectangular panels into like oval looking panels. It makes a world of difference. As you can see, the front of the house has already been improved by like, I don't know, 47.3%, and those are just rough numbers. I've not really crunched them yet. So that is what you want to do all the way around the house, anywhere that you can do it really, even on like the entrance portion of this house. Just apply like a single stone brick stairs in these top two corners here, just like on the outer part of the windows. You can see, guys, I'm so clumsy, I delete everything by accident. So just like apply stone brick stairs there, and I don't think you can do it on the bottom of the tops here. Even on the entrance, wherever you can get them, it really does just make the world a difference, or at least to me. Maybe you have a different opinion, but I do think it makes it look a lot better, and we're probably going to have to place some more torches. I really kinda didn't anticipate the fact that I'd be placing some upside down stone brick stairs. So just the entrance, for example, and on the right hand side of the house it will look as fantastic as it does on the front. I'll probably just keep this in the tutorial actually. I wasn't going to, but before you know it, I'm about halfway done with this already, aren't I? So placed it there. We just have the back and left hand sides, and you know what, on large patches of house, like where there's lots and lots of like open space, open panels, where there's like 3 stacked on 3, it does make a difference. It kind of like combines everything together. Let's take a look. But of course, if you've ever made one of my brick houses, you guys are well familiar with this, and you know how good it looks. So let's take a look, shall we? Let's take a look at the back side of the house. It just brings everything together. It just melds everything into one. That's a weird effect with the roof, isn't it? God, look how slanty that is. That's kind of cool though, but again, we just have one side to do. The house looks really cool at angles. Looking at each side straight on bad, looking at angles like this much better. So let's just completely take care of this left hand side, and then that's all we have to do. After this, I'm going to whip away. Is that a term people use? Whip away? It is now. Anyway, so we've just got to finish off this left-hand side of the house, and then I will whip away. That's right, I'm keeping it. I'm going to use that again. Whip away, and I will do a little bit with the interior. I'll basically just add a stair. Actually, I have something cool planned out for the interior, and I'll do the exterior as well. And that is what you want to do all the way around the house, and it just makes it look a little bit better. Again, look at the house straight on here. Looks weird, right? But then, look at it from this angle. 100% better. I like that a lot more. My favourite view, though, since we're getting off topic, I like this. Look at that. That's a cool looking view. I love this roof. I'm so glad that I thought of it. Anyway, once you've applied all of your stone brick stairs in all of the relevant panels around the house, once you've reached this point right here, the tutorial is 100% over with. I'm not going to be showing you how to make anything else, but I am going to whip away. That's right, keeping it whip away, and I'm going to tamper with the house a little bit and show you guys what it could look like if you wanted to put a little bit of effort into it. Completely up to you. So I'll be back in just a moment once I finish doing all of the preparations. Alright guys, so as you can see, I've done a slight bit of tampering with the house. I've not done too much, I'll admit that, although I do think that it's been significantly improved. Let's take a look, shall we? We'll start with the inside, as is customary, because I do the least amount of work with the inside. You guys know, by now, I don't like interiors at all, so that's why I just add a staircase. You know what, it's not even worth looking at. I decided to go with just the single staircase this time. I was going to go for a double one, but it takes up too much damn room. Very simple, just use myself some nether brick stairs, and I used some, well, My favourite material, black stained clay, just kind of surrounded it, just made it a little harder to fall off of it. So coming up to the second floor here, where I, again, haven't really done too much to the interior, I'll admit. This is what it looks like. There's a little bit of room, not a massive amount of room. I don't know whether I like the mix between stone bricks and black stained clay, actually. Maybe if I was really invested in this, I'd probably remove the stone bricks and replace it with black stained clay. Although, I did do something cool with the house, guys. This is the second floor. Huh? Look at this! It's an observatorium for when you can spy on people entering your house. I don't know. I kind of just had this idea. I didn't want to put I didn't want to fill the top of this in with a solid material because it'd be really dark. So I just used glass, and then I decided, well, I may as well make it open, and I don't know, it's kind of a cool little area. I kind of like looking down onto the courtyard. It's kind of cool. I don't know. Sometimes I have smart ideas, and that's the interior of the house. Not really much to show. Honestly, the only thing worth seeing is this thing. I thought this was a pretty smart idea, but, well, smart's relative, isn't it? Smart for me. Smart for me. So, that's the interior of the house. Plenty of room, really. A little bit dark. You have to light it up a little bit. You're a little optional with where you want to put staircases and what have you, and of course you can have the observatorium just underneath here. I love that effect. That's kind of cool, isn't it? I love that. Look at that view. That's a really interesting view. Anyway, that leads me onto the outside, where I've kind of done something a little cool, but I'm not 100% sold with it. So I kind of went for a moat theme going around the house, and I've kind of like formed a pattern with some mossy stone bricks. Is that what they're called, guys? I'm not... Mossy stone bricks. I got the name. Nailed it. Well done me. I never get the names right. Mossy stone brick path all around the house, and I've just left a space between that and the hedge, and a space between the path and the house as well, and I decided to throw a couple of flowers around. I've obviously not done a fantastic job here. There should be no water flowing. There we go, that's much better. That was irritating me. That'd irritate me if I was to not solve that problem. I might have OCD, but yeah, pretty cool idea. A little tiny bit of a moat going around the house. I don't know why I have a fascination with water. Call me crazy. And then we've kind of just got a... I don't know, just to keep, like, everything symmetrical. If you guys can tell, everything is 100% symmetrical, because apparently I have a problem. Flowers are in the same place on each side, and everything's kind of just like, if you were to half it right there, down the middle, bang, diagonally, everything would be correct. I don't know. I like this house. Like I say, if you look at it from, like, the front, well, maybe not this view, but from, like, this side, it kind of looks really weird because the back of the house is kind of like at an angle. But, I mean, if you look at it from like a diagonal view, I really love this thing. I like what I did to the outside. It's very simple, but kind of effective. It takes no time whatsoever. And, of course, I just threw hedge around with my favourite hedging. I always like to use the jungle leaves. I don't know why. I just like them the best. I think they're the lightest. They're the most... Yeah, well, then again, I guess the oak leaves are kind of light as well. Let's get a side-by-side comparison. Yeah, I think they're the same colour, but jungle leaves are a little more dense, and they've kind of got these speckles of lime green in them, so I like those. And I've realised, I've been talking about the outside and inside of this house for far too long, and there's really not that much to say. So, hopefully I have given you guys some ideas with what you could do to the interior and exterior of the house. This really didn't take too long. I'd be surprised if it took me 10 minutes. The house isn't too difficult to build either, so hopefully you had no trouble there. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. I hope you really like the house. I'm a massive fan of this one, although I'm a bit biased. I did make it.